Hey, greetings, everyone. Lieutenant Colonel Alan West here, and welcome to the Steadfast and Loyal podcast.
You gotta light 'em up before they burn it down. Better dig deep and put 'em in the ground. Blood on their hands, they're hellbound. Save us all. Ooh, they're gonna burn it down. Save us all before they burn it down.
You know, I spent 22 years in the United States Army, and then I had an opportunity to go serve in the United States House of Representatives. So when I saw these six individuals, let me make sure I get their names correct. Representative Jason Crow, Democrat of Colorado; Christy Houlihan, Democrat from Pennsylvania; Chris DeLuzio, Democrat from Pennsylvania; Maggie Goodlander, Democrat from New Hampshire; Senators Elissa Slotkin, Democrat from Michigan; and Mark Kelly, Democrat from Arizona. When I saw these six individuals who claim prior military experience or CIA experience, pretty interesting. There wasn't any former Marine that joined into this. Create this video, basically, truthfully, honestly, telling members of the United States Armed Forces to disobey, to not follow any illegal orders from the commander in chief and from the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of War, whatever you want to call it. So basically, President Trump and Secretary of Defense Hegseth. Now, lawmakers, quote, quote, lawmakers, saying defy the illegal orders of the President of the United States of America, the Commander in Chief. But when they're asked what are the illegal orders, well, there's some things going on we can't really say. I mean, that interview with Representative Crow and Martha McCallum, he couldn't point to anything illegal. And then just recently we had Senator Elissa Slotkin from Michigan come out and say, well, I don't know of any illegal orders, but there are some things going on, you know, these strikes down in the Caribbean. Well, let me explain something to you, Senator, that transnational narco-criminal terrorists that we call the cartels, they are non-state, non-uniform belligerents. The President of the United States of America can, especially in our own hemisphere, have strikes against people. This is not a nation. They don't belong to, not wearing a uniform. They don't carry a flag, but these are terrorists that are killing Americans. Now, I found it very interesting that none of these six, I call them these seditious six, none of these six individuals had anything to say during the Biden administration when he violated the Constitution. Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution, known as the Guarantee Clause. The federal government is supposed to guarantee to every state in the union to protect them from invasion. Tens of millions coming into this country illegally, to include criminals. And then on top of that, telling the Immigration and Customs and Enforcement that you're not allowed to go out and do your job, do your duty to get these people off the streets that we have illegally, unconstitutionally allowed to come into the country. Where were these voices then? Maybe we wouldn't have people like Laken Riley, Jocelyn Nungaray, Rachel Morin, the woman who was set afire in New York City. Maybe they would still be alive. But no, you know, this is not about we're standing against illegal actions of the commander-in-chief. This is all about politics. This is all a game to these people. And furthermore, when all of a sudden you get some member of the military that comes up and says, well, these Democrat members said that I don't have to do what you say. And of course, he gets charged. He faces a court martial, or she, and then they are dishonorably discharged. Do you think any of those 6 members are going to step in and help that person? No. I mean, all of a sudden, I'm not going to fly a mission. I'm not going to deploy down into the Caribbean because it's an illegal order. No, it's not. Especially when you consider the Monroe Doctrine. But then again, where were these 6 when Joe Biden gave the unconstitutional, immoral, illegal, unlawful order for healthy members of our military to get injected with something that did not have complete approval? And they suffered some, myocarditis and other health issues because of it. But when those individuals said that, no, we don't want this shot, and here we are declaring a religious exemption, whatever, they were told, no, booted out of the military. I think we were close to like 35 to 40,000, booted out of the military. But where were these people then? See, what they did is an act of sedition. To try to foment or to try to incite people to undermine the rightful, constitutional, and lawful existence of the President of the United States of America, the Commander-in-Chief, that's sedition. I mean, if you're talking about folks that are involved in a combat operation, it could also be seen as treasonous because you're providing material support and comfort to the enemy, kind of like Rashida Tlaib is doing, masquerading around, parroting propaganda lines from Hamas, a designated terrorist organization, carrying and waving a Hamas flag outside her office there on Capitol Hill.